Hi everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez with City Communications. We are outside City Hall on the South Steps, a place that has always been for the people to lift up their voices and for our city officials to listen.
I think not only making sure that we're all unified on local control, and that's what we got today. And I do appreciate the foundation donating money, but making sure that there's body cams. But then none of those two things can really operate unless we have a community review board, the one that actually has power and transparency. I know that the commission board is, yes, it does a good job, but it's only 5 people. Kansas City is a big and vast and diverse city. We need to have that reflect our community as well.
I hear you. So let me start off this way. First of all, let's make clear, Black Lives Matter. Say it again, Black Lives Matter. So, I've been mayor for about 10 months. And you know what's happening today? I have not seen us rally together as a community like this before in all of my years. I haven't seen us try to build this level of change. But let me tell you what we're changing. Look back at that building. Right, that building's built in 1936. Who stands in front of it? Andrew Jackson. A terrible president. Right? Our county's named after him. You got police headquarters the same time. You got City Hall behind me the same time. The foundation of what we are built on is the problem. But what do we have to do? We need to shake up the foundation. Because I will tell you something, there's a reason that every year we learn another brother's name. Laquan, George, Philando, Rodney. And don't you all wonder why every year you say, how does this not change? I was 7 years old when Rodney King was beaten. And I remember asking my mom, I'm like, how does this happen that they get acquitted? What I didn't know the biggest surprise would be is that 28 years later, we'd be shaking our head to the same thing. The problem isn't just an officer. This isn't about one officer or 4 officers in Minneapolis. This ain't about one officer in Chicago. This ain't about one officer in Kansas City. What is it about? Is the foundation is rotten with what we're dealing with. And we need to shake it up. We need to change it. We need to fight it. We need to know that we're not going to stand for it anymore. And so let me tell you something. I know. People asking me, well, Lucas, what you doing? You can say, Lucas, what you doing? That's a good question. So yesterday, we changed policies that hadn't been changed for years. We made it so that any use of force violation needs to be reviewed by an outside agency, not a department itself. We changed it. So any, and I mean any, officer-involved shooting needs to be investigated by an outside agency, not just a department. And this is why we have to work with our prosecutor, because let me tell you something. If I walk out on the street today and I shoot you, I don't get to wait 3 weeks for an investigation. I usually don't get to go home, right? We need to make sure that not only do we have accountability, but we have speed with that accountability. So what else do we need to do? Well, when we talk about shaking up the foundation, look at these. These are some strong buildings. They are sturdy, but we need to shake them up too. We need to make sure that y'all are not just with me today, and you're not just pushing us today. You're pushing us next week, next month, next year, the year after, because we're going to make sure we make change. But let me tell you something, if Sister Barbara didn't say it, then I know all my council members could have too. The revolution, my friends, will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. They want to put you on the news when you're protesting. They don't want to put you on the news when you're teaching a young black child. They don't want to put us on the news when we're trying to change our community. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep making the news. We're going to make it so they know that we demand accountability. And you know how we make that accountability? We all just show up. We all just come. We show up to the next police board meeting and say, we here. We show up to the next city council meeting, and what do we say? We're here. We show up to the governor's office, and we say what? We're here. And that's how we gonna make a difference. So let me just tell you this, and I'm not talking about as a mayor right now. Honestly, I've been a black man my whole life, been a mayor for 10 months. And I will tell you this step. Whenever I see any of these stories, and it's something, I usually don't even want to talk, because that pain that so many of our black speakers have talked about is something that every black person in this audience knows. You know that when you see a brother who is kneeled on and killed based on a forgery charge, you know that when you see a brother who's stopped and trying to get his license but ends up shot and dead, you know that that could be you. You know that that could be your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your nephew, your niece, your son, and your daughter. And what we are making these changes for today, and I want y'all, and I know we've been talking about protesting, some of y'all might even have beefs with me. That's all right, because who are we fighting for right now? I'm thinking about the brother right now at 40th and Benton. I'm thinking about the brother right now at 82nd and Truce. I'm thinking of the brother right now who stays off Blue Ridge. That's who we fighting for. We fight so they can live. We fight so they can breathe. We fight so they can read. We fight so that they can bird watch. So I see all your signs. We gonna keep our movement going. Tu lucha es mi lucha. What we say with everybody is, we are gonna make sure that when we are done, these foundations have been shaken. We have changed the way it looks. Living in Kansas City doesn't mean we just go along to get along. Living in Kansas City doesn't mean we're accepting the same stuff anymore. Living in Kansas City means that we can demand justice, and living in Kansas City means that we have the power to make change. And I need all of y'all to know you got the power. Say, I got the power. Say, I got the power. Because we all do. So I need you, and I'm going to look back at y'all. I know you ain't going to be behind me when I walk up these steps in a few days, but I want to feel that you're going to be there. The next time I'm meeting with the governor, I want to be able to say, look, Governor, you may be elected from a different place in Missouri. You may think all these things. You may like Trump. I don't care, because I got my people with me.
Our city leaders want you to continue engaging with us. You can do that by attending city council meetings every Wednesday and Thursday here at City Hall. You can check in with us on the website, kcmo.gov. Follow us on social media. Talk with us. We'll take action. We will listen.